Alright guys, welcome back. Oh, that is crooked. One moment please. Man, that was severely crooked. Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look. Alright guys, welcome back. Dom here. First of all, Happy New Year. So this will be the first workout that we're loading up for the new year. Part of a new programming that I've been testing over the last week or so. Bit different than what I'm used to, but it's also bringing in an element of some good core strength and stability work, and I'm still mixing in the intervals. I do like the assault, but I do like the conditioning. I'm not going to call it cardio, but I do like the conditioning quite a lot. So therefore that is incorporated in there, but I'm primarily going more of a strength phase, not necessarily a lot of AMRAPs and EMOMs like I would have done throughout last year, but breaking it down into smaller. Like today you'll see there's a couple of what we call couplets or pairs. We're focusing on not getting them done in a certain time, just getting it done. So consequently what I'm finding is that my workout is actually taking me a bit longer. So this one, we're up at 50 minutes at the moment now. Just taking the time. Normally I go for 30 minutes, that's it. And therefore I minimize my rest, which is pretty much why I'm seeing my heart rate maintain. But what I'm trying to do with this is slow it down a bit. I'm trying to keep it to around 40 minutes. Some of them take a little bit longer because I'm playing with the formatting as we go, which is what we did today. And I'm also incorporating some longer rest periods so that maybe if I go back into, in this case today's couplet, I'm able to go with a little bit of aggression. So probably if anything, strength, power, aggression is probably the format that we're trying to get out of this next sort of 12 to 16 week block. So let's just jump into it. First one is it's a push on the bench with a tricep movement. So we're going for 15 reps. So what I simply want you to do is I want you to work to what is it, something you can get a set of 10 at. So I can get a set of 10 out of body weight. So I've got a set of 90 kilos, but I'm just going to go extend more than that. So I'm going to go for sets of 15. So I'm going to go for 3, maybe 4 rounds of 15 reps. I'm going to start at a lower weight. I started at 60 kilos and I simply went to 70, then to 80, and then to 90, and I did 2 sets at 90. First, I managed to get the full 15 out. The second, I broke it at 10, sat up, counted 10, 9, 8, 7, down to 1, got back down, got the final 5. But I'm pairing them today with some skull crushers. So skull crushers, I'm using the dumbbell, so it's individual rather than a single bar or a single dumbbell. I'm going individual because I do know that obviously my right side, I'm right hand dominant, is stronger than my left. So therefore I'm trying to focus on my left being the governor, and I've got to maintain it with my right. So if it's a struggle coming down, if it's a struggle pushing up, then I'm not using my right to compensate. I've got to hold my right and let my left press. So for those who are not used to a skull crusher, I'm just going to flip around. I did these on the floor, obviously with a little bit of a heavier weight. I ended up with a pair of 15s, but I'm going to demonstrate with the 5. So imagine that you're sitting on the floor. You come down, head supported, hands are straight up here. I'm simply going to bend here. I'm going to bring them right down towards the skull, hence the reason why we call it the skull crusher, and I'm going to extend up. So down. So you can even see with my right now on the lighter weight, my right is stronger, so I'm trying to govern with here. What you can do is you could put them together and therefore let the left hand be the governor and bring it to here. And if that's the case, I probably want to come back here a bit more so that way I don't knock myself on the skull and definitely crush the skull. So that's the first movement. It's a pair, it's a couplet. I'm going for 3 to 4 sets of 15 reps. I'm sticking with these weights. I'm just keeping that, I use the 15s, I use them throughout. And obviously, but what I did is I built up to this 2 sets at 90 kilos for me and got my 15. And I didn't rep them out. They were nice, steady tempo reps. No real locking this, like 2 to 3 seconds down, 2 to 3 seconds up, and just try to, just like a metronome would, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. And of course, at some point, I might have had a pause in there because I was struggling to get to finish the rep. So that is couplet A. Couplet B, we're going to come into now. I've got a heavier dumbbell. I'm going for a 25 kilo. I'm going for a single hand overhead, what we call a push press. So my right, I can strip press quite easy, whereas my left, I'm finding I don't have the straight upwards motion. I tend to flare a bit. So therefore what I'm doing is I'm taking that left foot behind me in a split stance and I'm pressing. So push, press, and I'm using a little bit of a dip. And what I did with these, brought these down to 10 after the 15. So 10 on the right hand and 10 on the left hand. And I paired them, as you can see here, with my, I've got a 30 kilo dead ball. So I went from ground to overhead and a slam. So for the dead ball, it's a case of basically pulling it into a high pull and pressing it, and then actually aggressively slamming the 30 kilo dead ball into the ground. Okay, so think of it like almost like a dead ball snatch in some regards. So again, I went with 5 rounds, 10 right, 10 left, straight into the 10 shoulder to overhead or slams with the ball, and then I took a rest. I took a 30-second rest, okay, which is the reason why we're seeing this time go a bit longer. So I took a mandatory, looked at the clock, a mandatory 30-second rest, tried to calm my breathing down, tried to bring my heart rate down. It comes down a little tiny bit, but generally I'm going to find it's not the push press, it's that aggressive bringing the dead ball up and slamming it down is what's sparking the heart rate. So I'm trying to bring that down, and you'll see that in my chart from either the MyZone, the Fitbit, whatever that I'm wearing today. So again, I did 5 rounds of 10 of those. I come into part C, and that's where the let's call it the trusty steed, the assault bike. Did a similar program this morning with the 2 boys, but we ended up not using the assault bike because we had something else as the finisher, and we used the rower and the ski erg. And basically what it was a 45-second interval on with a 30-second interval off, and it was 6 rounds. So for me on the assault bike, maintaining a nice steady pace. So what I would do, I'd start out at about 70 RPM in the first round. Okay, I then kept riding during the 30-second break, whereas the ski erg and the rower, I want you to completely stop because they're more of a pulling motion. This is more of a pushing motion than anything else. There is a bit of pulling in it, but it's more of a pushing motion. And given that we've done a fair bit of pushing this, I want to just keep going and letting the arms go. So I brought the tempo down to 50 RPM. So I'd go 70 RPM, 50 RPM, 73 RPM, 50 RPM, and I kept trying to add 3 RPM up to the final. And so look, so 6 3s are 18. Trying to get that from 70 up into the 80s is a struggle, right? Basically, once I got into the 80s into 85, it was a struggle to hold on for the full 45 seconds. So I gave myself a little bit of grace. I didn't go, oh, fuck it, that's it. I got to there, I got to maintain it, and I tried to maintain it at least for 30. And that last 15, it was pretty much just trying to hang on because I knew I was going to have that 30-second window coming through at the end. So again, for the bike, 6 rounds, 45 seconds on, 30 seconds off, and I tried to increase the pace under fatigue. It's probably what we would call the pain component of what is typically more of a gain and sustain type session. The finisher was something pretty simple for me because I did that, and the volume, what we've done here, I simply broke the volume down and I simply gave myself a ladder starting at 16. 16 body drops, burpees, rest for 10, 15, 20 seconds. 14, blah, blah, blah. 12, blah, blah, blah. 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2. And just simply did that. That was my finisher. It was a case of getting up, getting down, making sure I'm not too sore in the back. And I simply did the 16 down. Could have went to 18, could have went to 20, could have had 30. Doesn't make a difference. Just pick the number of 16 because I turned around and I saw the yellow 16 kilo kettlebell staring at me in the face and thought, that's the number I'm going to start with. And just did a drop set by 2. Now, you want to do this workout and you want to do it at home, you may not have access to this stuff. If you're at the gym, you can always modify it. Don't have an assault bike, go onto a spin bike, go onto a treadmill, use the runner, try the Stairmaster, try the cross trainer, but something that you can maintain a pace and maybe go at a little bit of a faster pace each time you get it on. Treadmill, for those who are runners, is probably the ideal thing for you. Maintaining a little bit, start at 10k an hour, start at 8k an hour, 9k an hour, 10k an hour, 11, 12, 13. If you're a great runner, again, you've got 6 rounds. Start at 12, go to 14, go to 16, go to 18, and can you hold on for the 20k an hour for 45 seconds? Good luck to you if you're a good runner. And obviously just make sure that you are smart, you are hooked on, so that way if you do happen to trip, then that treadmill will stop and it won't fling you off the back. Okay, so you can change this. Now, if I'm doing this at home, my at-home go-to workout is going to be my rucksack, which for me has got 35 kilos in it, and I've got a 25 kilo sandbag, and I've also got some power bags that you can see here. I can replace all this, so I could go on the floor and I could do a full press with my rucksack, okay, or my sandbag, okay. I could go a press and an overhead press, or a press and a pullover, and that will be my bench equivalent. Instead of laying down for the skull crusher, I could sit up and do tricep extension with the sandbag or whatever, and that's my first couplet. Coming to the second couplet is the push press and the slams. Well, again, I don't want to slam my ruck, or I don't want to slam my thing, so instead of my slams, I could do a clean and press and back down, a clean and press and back down, and I could simply just do a shoulder press, push press with the ruck or the sandbag. So again, I'm bringing it up, I'm getting my 10 up here, and I'm going to go 10 down and up, and that's my second couplet. My intervals, as I said, you pick whatever. If you're at home, you don't have any equipment, grab a skipping rope, shadow box, do something, do side shuffles, run up and down the driveway. Doesn't matter, making high knees, whatever works for you, what works for you. Star jumps, whatever, lateral shuffles, do something that is going to spike your heart rate and keep it there. But be consistent, be consistent. That's what we call the sustainability piece. And if you want to get a bit faster, you'll turn it into a pain piece. And last thing, the little blowout at the end, you might try the at-home version of what I gave the boys this morning. We simply ran a 10-minute clock, and every minute. So we would do 2 push-ups, then we ran for the remainder of the minute. And then minute 2, we did 4 push-ups, and then we ran. In the 3rd minute, we doubled again. We did 8 push-ups, ran, and then in the 4th minute, we did 16 push-ups, then ran. We challenged them by doing both push-ups and dead ball slams. Now, if you don't finish them, you don't finish them. When the timer hits, you go back, you reset again. So they did 2, 4, 8, 16. They did 16 twice, then they did 8, 4, and 2, and that was their 8-minute window of going up and down, just simply to keep them going as a finisher, to start working on their engine or endurance capacity. That's it. Long breakdown today, I know, but I want to make sure that I give you a lot more about what we're doing in the program. The full write-up will be in the description below. What I do for mobility beforehand with the massage gun, foam roller stretches will be there. Also, I'm about to do an 8-minute piece afterwards. This isn't because at 52, I ain't getting any younger, but I'm also not dead either. That's it. My name is Dom, and I'm here to play the long game. Please do me a favor. Please like. Please subscribe to the channel here, TikTok, social media, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you see me, and please tell a friend.